Hello, I'm Jonathan from Boredom Sated, and today I'm doing a special video to talk about how fighting goes when you're trying to fight against creatures that are at 3 levels higher than you in Pathfinder 2. We talked about this a little bit in the reaction video that we made a couple of weeks ago to the quitting Pathfinder 2, because one of the problems that a lot of the writers have when making modules is that they use the same rules they've always used. And when you use the same rules that you always use, you need to kind of think about the fact that not every edition works the same way, especially when fighting higher level creatures. In Pathfinder 2, the rules are set up so you can fight against creatures that are 2, 3, 4 levels higher than you. But it's not a very good idea. So what I've done here is I've set up the situations, the numbers, to look at what would happen if a level 7, level 13, and level 20 player. I've taken two character classes, Champion and Wizard, because I wanted to show best AC, and I wanted to show the standard look of someone who uses saving throws. And I've chosen two monsters, a common monster and an uncommon monster, for 3 levels higher. So a 10th level monster, two of them to fight the 7th levels, two 16th level monsters to fight the 13th levels, a common and uncommon, and there aren't any common or uncommon 23rd level monsters, so I chose a Solar. You don't even have any 23rd level monsters in the base player's handbook or in the base bestiary. You need to go to bestiary 2. So, now, I will explain what saving throws are, what bonuses I use to make these numbers work out, but let's start at level 7. So my level 7 champion has an AC of 27/29. I write /29 because, in general, if you're playing a champion, there's a good chance you're going to be using a shield. I personally like the shield ally. You can do a lot of fun stuff with the shield ally. Make it so that you take a lot of reduced damage. So that's the reason why your AC can be up to 29. If you want to know where the numbers come from, the idea here is that you would be wearing plate armor and have a dexterity of at least 12 to max, or you're wearing full plate so you don't need a dexterity modifier because it's a +6. 7th level, you are an expert in armor, so that's 7 plus 4 is 11. +6 is 20 is 17, plus the 10 is 27, which means my numbers are actually off because I also gave the +1 to hit armor bonus for this, which would get it up to 28/30, not 27/29. The bonus to hit is based on being an expert, again 7 plus 4 for that, and having a 20 strength, which would get you up to a 16, and then +1 again for having a magical weapon, so +17. Sorry. So you have a +17 to hit with your attack rolls. Saving throws, a 15 fortitude save, 13 reflex save, and 14 wisdom saving throw, or will save. That's based on a 16 constitution. You're wearing full plate for the +3 bonus versus reflex save damage spells, and a 14 wisdom for the champion because you can't have that great of stats. For the wizard, I went with an AC of 23, and that is based on you are trained, not an expert, in your armor class. And I have a dexterity modifier of 16 at this point for it because, again, it's not that easy to get the maximum. You could have an 18 if you really wanted to, but I was being a little conservative for this. So you have a dexterity of 16. You've got 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 3 is 12, plus 1 for the armor bonus is 13, plus 10 because of AC. So you have an AC of 23. Your DC for your saving throws is 25 because the idea is that you have a 19 intelligence. You are an expert in your casting, so that's 7 plus 4 to make 11, plus, again, 4 for your intelligence modifier, and then DCs are 10 higher to make it a DC 25. Saving throws for that, I went with a con of 14. It's trained, so it's a 12. Dexterity of 16, expert at +15, and a will save of 13 with a wisdom of 12, and it's an expert. So the two monsters I chose at level 10 are the Mammoth and the Rakshasa Rasha. The Mammoth has an AC of 29, so in order for the champion to hit, he needs a 12 to hit, which is not that great on a first attack. The Mammoth has a plus 22 to hit on its first attack, so it hits the wizard on a non-natural 1, so it hits on a 2 and crits on a 12. Actually, no, it crits on an 11. So that wizard better stay the hell back. Against the champion, a plus 22 to hit with a shield raised, it hits on an 8. Doesn't seem that bad, but remember, the champion has the best armor class in the game, so hitting on an 8, critting on an 18 is still really, really bad. The saving throws for the Mammoth are 21 for its Constitution, for its Fortitude, 15 for its Reflex, and 18 for its Wisdom will save. So, again, if you, for whatever reason, decided to target as the wizard, you decided to target Fortitude, it only needs a 4 to save. But if you decided to target its Reflex, which is probably what you would do, your level 7, your fireballing, your lightning bolting, things like that, it needs a 10 to make the save. None of that seems that bad. So at level 7, going up against a common monster doesn't seem too bad. However, what happens if you go against the Rakshasa? The Rakshasa has an AC of 30 instead of 29, so it's that much harder to hit. And its saving throws, it gets a +2 bonus on its saves versus all magic, and a +1 versus divine magic. Luckily, the divine magic thing doesn't come into play. However, it has a 19 Fortitude save, a 21 Reflex save, and an 18 Will save before the +2 bonus. So if you go against even its weakest save, it still needs to only roll a 5 to pass your saving throws. And it's a will save against a Rakshasa. That's not the best idea. If you go against its Reflex, remember it's a cat, it needs a 2 to make your save. It has a DC saving throw of 31 because it's a spellcaster, which basically means that even the best save of the wizard or the champion, which is 15 respectively for a Fortitude or Reflex, depending on what you go for, they need to roll a 16 to make the saving throw. Remember, the Rakshasa needed to roll a 5. And what about its plus to hit? The Rakshasa has a 22 or 23 bonus to hit, which means, again, it hits the wizard on a not 1, and it hits the champion with shield raised on a 7 or 8. That just shows you, again, relatively low level. The champion and the wizard, they've just gotten some of their cool abilities. They've just gotten expert in all of their stuff. They can win that fight, especially against the Mammoth, but against the Rakshasa, that's going to be difficult, and or it might actually get to the point of being nearly impossible to win. So what happens if we go up a little higher? And I will also mention, I've maximized out their magic items. No magic items or abilities really give you that, especially for saving throws, no magic items give you bonuses. The only thing you can do to really get better pluses to hit is either get circumstance bonuses, or if you have a bard in your party, or another couple of possibilities to get a +1 here or there. But in general, with the classes I've chosen here, they really don't get any bonuses to hit, or bonuses to say to AC, so the numbers are just straight up as they are. So, level 13. For level 13, our champion has increased his AC to 37/39. He is now a master at armor class, so that makes 13 plus 6 is 19, plus 10 for the base is 29, plus 6 for the armor is 35, plus 2 for the magical bonus is 37. Obviously, raised shield becomes 39. Bonus to hit for the champion is now 26. My assumption is that you've made your strength 20, and I've given you a +2 to hit and damage weapon. So that's 13 plus, at 13, I believe that they've gotten Master at level 13. I think that's how I set this up. So you've got Master at level 13, which means that you are now 13 plus 6 is 19, plus your 5 from Strength is 24, plus 2 for that is 26 to hit. Saving throws are 25, 22, and 24 respectively, with a Master at Fortitude, Expert at Reflex, and Master at Will saves. I am assuming at this point an 18 Con, the plate bonus still for Reflex, and a 16 Wisdom. For the Wizard, the AC at this point has jumped up to 33. You are now an expert in your defenses. And I've assumed a Dexterity bonus of 18 now, and again, the +2 bonuses. I won't go over the exact math. If you want to check it, go right ahead. Now, here's the problem. At level 13, the DC saving throw for the Wizard has not changed from Expert to Master yet, because you don't get Master until level 15, which I think is a problem with the system. They really should be getting Master at 13, not 15, because the ACs and the saving throws jump up, and the saves do not for you. So you're still only an Expert, but your Intelligence modifier should now be a 5, which means that it's going up, but it only went up by your level plus the 1 for your Intelligence modifier. So your DC for saving throws is 32. You'll see why that makes a difference once I get to the monsters. Saving throws for the Wizard are Constitution of 16, Expert level, so it's a 22 for Fortitude, Dex 18, Expert for 23 for Reflex, and Wisdom of 14, Expert at 21 for your Will save. So the two monsters I chose here, again, a common and an uncommon. My common monster is the Astradaemon. The Astradaemon has a AC of 39, so you need a 13 to hit with your champion. And if you tried to hit it with a spell for whatever reason, your Wizard needs to roll a 17 on your spell attack roll. So that's not likely to happen. The bonus to hit on the Astradaemon is a 32 to hit, which means against the Wizard, you need a non-natural 1. So you hit on a 2, you crit on an 11. Against the champion, you hit on a 7 now. Crit on a 17, again on first attacks. The saving throw for the Astradaemon's saves is 37. Best saving throw for the champion is 25 on Fort. Best saving throw on the Wizard is 23 on Reflex. You need a 14 on your best saving throw for the Wizard to do anything to this Astradaemon, or to save from the Astradaemon. Again, you're screwed. And finally, the Astradaemon's saving throws: 27 Fort, 30 Reflex, 26 Will, with a +1 bonus versus Magic. So guess what? Worst save needs a 5 to save against the Wizard. Best save needs a 1. Can't actually roll a 1, have to roll a 2, but still, if you roll a 1, you don't even critically fail. That's how bad it is. The Wizard, again, for the low teens, is screwed. Now let's go over the uncommon creature I chose, which is the Rune Giant. Rune Giant has an AC of 38, so again, not super easy to hit. Its bonus to hit is 31 with some of its attacks, 33 with its main attack. Again, it hits a Wizard basically without trying, and hits a Raised Shield champion on a 6. The Rune Giant has saving throws of 35. Obviously, just the straight stats here don't show the danger of the Rune Giant. The saving throws for the Rune Giant are 33 Fort, 26 Reflex, and 28 Wisdom or Will. So if the Wizard decided to try to Fort save versus a Rune Giant at this point, you literally, it passes on a 2, and it technically passes if it could on a -1. That's how bad this is. So Wizards, casters in general, because all of them are like this, are completely screwed in the mid-levels. And this is against a creature 3 levels higher, obviously, but this just goes to show that you just don't even feel useful in a lot of these cases. Finally, level 20. Level 20 champion, AC is 47/49. At this point, again, you're 10 for the base, 20 for your level, plus 6, plus 8 because your legendary is 38, plus 6 for wearing plate, and I'm giving you a plus 3 armor bonus for that to get it up to 47, and then 49 with a raised shield. Plus to hit is now a 36, 20 for level, 6 for being a master. Maximum strength bonus with a keystone item gets it to 7, which gets up to 33, and then plus 3 for having a full magical sword. Saving throws based on a 20 constitution, 34 for fortitude, it's master. The plate bonus is still there for the reflex, and it's expert, so it's only a 30, and then 18 for wisdom, making a 33 will save for the champion. Level 20 wizard, AC 42. You never get better than expert. This is again assuming now you have a dexterity of 20 and you have cuffs that give you a plus 3 armor bonus. Or for whatever reason you're using 9th or 10th level spell to cast mage armor, but I digress. DC for a wizard jumps all the way up to 45, which is actually pretty solid. You'll see the saving throws aren't as bad as it could be there. But it jumps up all the way to 45, which is nice. Saving throws, fortitude is expert still at 31, dexterity, reflex is expert at 32, and will is master at 33. So the monster I chose to fight here, again 3 levels higher, is the Solar. The Solar has an AC of 49. So the AC of the Solar is the same as the AC of the champion fully maxed out, which does go to show you again that the champion has a really, really good AC. But it still means the champion needs a 13 to hit, and if the wizard wanted to try a to attack spell, you're looking at a 14 to hit. So not exactly very easy. And again, this is on first attacks. Bonus to hit for the Solar is 40 on its bow and 44 with the greatsword. So guess what? You with the bow, you hit the wizard on that good old natural 2. You hit the champion with your greatsword on a 5 with shield raised. Saving throws, DC is 46. So it's actually right around the same as the 20th level player. And again, this is a 23rd level monster. So the saving throws don't seem that overpowered. The problem is that, again, your saving throws compared to its saving throws are a joke. Its saving throws. Fortitude, 40. Reflex, 34. Wisdom, 37. Will save is 37. And again, it's got a +1 versus magic. So if you decide to go against its reflex, which is its weakest as a wizard, it needs a 10 to save. That's not that bad. But if you go against the fortitude, it needs a 4. So how are you supposed to fight them when there's nothing in the book that increases your saving throws? It just makes it so difficult to have that fight happen. But this just goes to show, and these are all numbers, you can look them up, you can check them yourself. These are all numbers that are completely true in the basis of Pathfinder 2. And this is fighting against things that are 3 levels higher than you. You can fight against things that are 4 levels higher than you, according to the book. They put in things that are 3 and 4 levels higher than you in these in these stories, in the modules. How are you supposed to survive that? Unless you have a party of 7 or 8, they're hitting you on 4s. And we're not even going over damage comparisons and things like that because I don't want this video to be an hour long. Anyway, obviously one problem that I did come up against here is that I did not choose a character that gets a legendary saving throw. As an example, if you wanted to talk about a legendary saving throw that would also be very high, you could talk about a rogue's dexterity, a rogue's reflex save. A rogue's reflex save at max level, because they do get legendary, that's 28 base, and then if you've done it correctly, that's 7 more for a 35, and then 3 for the item to get to a 38 saving throw. That's pretty damn good, but that's as high as it gets. Unless, of course, you have a bard or something else giving you bonuses. If you do a bard and you go with the route that makes it so you can increase the bonus for your saving throws, you can increase it by an additional up to +3. And having a 41 saving throw does seem really, really good. And then you realize that with all that buffing and all that stuff, you still have the exact same bonus as the fortitude save on the Solar does, without any buffs or any problems at all. So, let me know what you guys think about this. Again, this just goes to show, don't fight against things 3 levels higher. GMs don't put things that are 3 levels higher. It's a balanced game that you're supposed to fight against things that are basically your level, or maybe a little lower if you want to feel heroic, or maybe a little higher if you want to have something challenging. But don't go 3 higher. Don't go 4 higher. These fights are very, very difficult, and they will cause party wipes in a lot of cases, especially that mid-teen range. So, again, comment, subscribe, let me know what you want me to do next, let me know what you want us to do next, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys next time.